I really want our audience to hear about this. The other thing scammers do is love bombing. Love bombing, bombing, love bombing. This is when they shower victims with affection and attention. I mean, shower. I have never met a woman like you. I mean, I thought I've been in love before in my life, but I didn't know love until I met you. And we were like, oh, he said that to me. Right. My goodness.
And sending you gifts and cards, yes. And becoming your everything.
In the middle of the night, or you wake up and you look at your phone and you got this big heart. I was thinking about you all night long.
That's right.
Love bombing. Okay, let me give you some more information about that. They shower victims with affection. Oh my God, I'm never going to trust anybody again.
I'm telling you.
They shower victims with affection and attention, quickly professing love. They are in love quickly. Quickly. I know we just met, but okay. Quickly professing love and creating a sense of intimacy. What is love bombing? Love bombing is a manipulative tactic where someone showers a new partner with excessive attention, affection, and gifts in the early stages of a relationship. Because see, they'll give it in the early stages. They're investing. Welcome to Get Real with Alexis Jones. On this podcast, we'll dive into real relationships with real people guided by the wisdom and perspective of some of the most seasoned voices in our community, our beloved seniors. Each week, we'll unpack the joys, challenges, and lessons learned about love, family, friendship, and everything in between. This is a space for heartfelt conversations, eye-opening truths, and powerful stories that will inspire and challenge the way you think about relationships. We're keeping it honest, unfiltered, and deeply meaningful. So settle in and let's get ready to get real. Let's jump in. Well, hello and welcome to Get Real with Alexis. My name is Alexis and I have Dr. Kim with me again. I like calling her doctor. She's my really close friend and I love her dearly. And we are going to chat with you this evening about romance scams. Actually, I have a topic. It's called Scam Proofing Your Heart. Wow. How was your day, by the way?
My day was pretty good. Busy.
Yeah.
Started early, but it was good. It was good.
I told you need to retire. Go there and say, Alexis said retire.
I know, Alexis said I need to retire.
I mean, we need time to play. You see, we can't do this often because I got to work around your work schedule.
I know.
You need to quit work so you can help me do this.
I'm telling you, I'm working on it. I'm getting there.
I'm retired. I want everybody to be retired.
I know.
So we're going to talk about scam proofing your heart. I want to give you all and share with you, Kim. I know you've read this as well. Well, first of all, I was thinking about when we dated back in the day and we weren't online, first of all. I mean, there was no such thing as dating online. I mean, how did you meet a boy or a guy?
Usually it was, when you were younger, it was school. So you were places where they were. So, first boyfriends, high school, then college.
Yeah.
And then you just met people because you went out and socialized. So some people you met at church, you met at the clubs, you met different places. On campus,
mm-hmm.
Right. But I think for me, it's like you at least met a person you could touch.
Yes.
So, it wasn't like now where it's like you don't even, all you see is an image.
Yeah.
It was like, at least this is a real live person.
Right.
And you're having a conversation with them.
But we didn't think it would ever not be a live person.
Right.
I mean, that wasn't on my radar that one day I'll be looking at a image and deciding whether I want to have a relationship with this image.
Exactly.
So there's a big difference between then and now. And what I've learned is that seniors are increasingly using dating apps in a way that surprises me because a lot of my senior friends, they don't even want to text. But seniors are getting pretty savvy and they're starting to use technology and they're on these dating apps. And there are a lot of senior apps out there. So here we go. Why did I choose this topic? So let me give you some information that maybe our audience doesn't know. In 2022, older adults, that's adults 65 and over, were victims in 26% of all romance scam reports. While romance scams affect all age groups, older adults are disproportionately targeted, particularly those aged 60 and older, according to the research that I looked at. Here's what's interesting. In 2022, losses to romance scams for older adults amounted to nearly $240 million.
That is staggering.
I know.
That's like so hard to believe.
What happened? I mean, I'm like, what? Why? Well, that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to talk about. And to add insult to injury, the research says that these figures are likely an underestimate because people don't report it.
Exactly.
If I got scams like that, you took all my money, I don't want anybody to know.
Exactly.
I'm embarrassed. I'm humiliated.
Exactly.
So a lot of people don't report.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So what is a romance scam? Romance scams, often targeting older adults, involve scammers building fake relationships to defraud victims of money or personal information. These scams are particularly prevalent among seniors who may be more vulnerable. Why are we more vulnerable? Due to loneliness, a desire for companionship, or perceived financial security. So what scammers do is they create elaborate they are good. There's a woman who came to one of my centers from, I forgot her division. She worked in the criminal division, and I forgot the name of her specific department, but they did a presentation about elder abuse. And they were talking about not just romance scams, but so many scams targeted toward seniors. I just chose one area that I thought would be of interest. What I've learned is that the people who do this are just really good at creating these elaborate stories and scenarios, how they present themselves to manipulate victims through emotional appeals. They know what to say once they get you on the line, often requesting money for fabricated emergencies or travel expenses. Again, let me just give you a little bit more information and we'll talk about it. Why seniors? Vulnerability. Older adults are more likely to be targeted due to factors like increased access to assets, loneliness, and potentially a greater tendency to trust. Why do we get so trusting as we get older?
I don't know. It's almost like it seems like as you get older and wiser, you'd be less trusting.
Yeah.
But that's not really the case. I'm not sure why.
You know what I think? I used to believe that once we got older, we kind of mellowed out and we just want to enjoy whatever days we have left. It's a naive way of thinking, but this is what I was thinking, because that's what I wanted. I just want to enjoy the days I have left. I don't want to cause any harm. I don't want to be harmed. I want to tell the truth, what I have to lose now, And so you expect that we get to this milestone in our lives. And maybe that's what most seniors are thinking and feeling and doing.
And maybe you just truly want to believe, you want to see the best in people.
Yeah.
And so you want to really believe that people would put their best foot forward the way you would. So I think sometimes when you feel like that, you want to mirror that in someone else. And so I think it really is just this belief in the innate good of people.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it is hard to comprehend or to believe just the depths that people would sink to and just the harm they would intentionally cause and how just mean and manipulative and out to truly hurt someone. And sometimes that's hard to believe that
It
someone would
is.
really, do that
Right.
intentionally
Right.
cause that kind of harm and hurt.
I think you hit the nail on the head. That is I'm shocked. I'm shocked. But they're out there.
Yeah.
And we're vulnerable. My senior community is like me. We're not ready for this. Well, I think I'm more ready now, but we need to get ready.
Yeah.
Because this is what we're facing. So there's the vulnerability is why we're targeted. Financial impact because, people have saved their retirement and they're trying to live off those funds. The emotional toll. Victims often experience shame, embarrassment, and emotional distress, leading to isolation, anxiety, and depression. So a lot of seniors are in this place where they are isolated and alone. I remember when I was working and nearing retirement and thinking about it, and my other friends who were in that same position, they expressed sort of a fear of retirement, like, what will I do? I didn't. And again, maybe I was a little naive, but I was thinking, whatever I want to do. I just wanted to retire. But there are seniors who fear not having that routine, that structure, being alone. Because if I have a 40-hour-a-week job, I've got someplace to be. I've got to get up and go, and there are people there.
Exactly. But you are naturally, you like to stay busy. You're going to always find something to do. So for you, it wasn't the work that kept you active and engaged and social. It was just you.
Right.
And now for you, you get to do the things you enjoy doing, the things that interest you. But not everybody's like that. So for a lot of people, their work is their identity.
Yes.
And their work does define who they are. And the thought of losing that is really frightening for a lot of people. And a lot of people, I don't think they really know how to continue to be engaged outside of work.
I think you're absolutely right. And the scammers know exactly what you just said.
Yeah, that being isolated. And then as you get older, people have suffered more loss. So, your circle gets smaller, your inner circle,
That's true.
Your connections to family get smaller. And so I think that's kind of a built-in vulnerability, or kind of built-in lack of connection to other people.
Oh, that is so true. Because I feel as busy as I am or try to be and do the things that I enjoy, there is this other side of me that feels alone. And I was just talking to my younger son, Brandon, about that right before you came. So I can relate to that. I can relate to that when I think about that. Yeah. And some seniors are immobile or they can't drive or, I can get out of here.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go on. So there's the emotional toll, and we talked about the unreporting. Okay, here's how romance scams work. Building trust. They create fake profiles on dating sites, social media, or even through email, initiating contact and building a relationship through frequent communication. So they know the first thing they have to do is build trust.
And my thing is, I don't know, maybe it's just my innate skepticism and lack of trust, but I'm like, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true.
Yeah, that is very fact.
So you really have to, enter any relationship or situation with some healthy skepticism.
You do.
And so I've always, even, like young people really are into dating apps and things like that. You do hear these wonderful stories about, how did you meet? We met on an app. And I just can't wrap my mind around that. Like, you met on an app.
But I've got two friends that I know of who they met their husbands on an app and they ended up getting married.
Yeah, so I mean, it happens.
It happens.
And so I guess everyone hopes that that's their story, and they want to believe that that's going to be their story, but I don't know.
It's not. I'm like you. Honey, we'll talk more about that. Okay. So, building trust, and they know how to do it, because if they speak to you, even if it's in writing, let's say you just met online and you're communicating by writing, you haven't spoken by phone yet, or you get to the place where you speak by phone, they know what to say to build the trust.
Absolutely.
And you're feeding it to them. They know when you say this, I'm going to say this. And if he says this, I'm going to say that. They know what to do. It's like a science. They study it. They're good at it. They're trained to be good at it. And you're trusting self, just talking to a nice voice or whatever it is. Okay. Oh, this is crazy. Then after they build trust and fabricate these stories about a need, they start asking for money. They'll ask for various reasons, such as travel expenses. I really want to see you. Can't wait to see you. The only problem is I have a check that's held up, whatever this check is held up in Timbuktu. But if you give me this, then we get to spend some quality time together. I'm already in love with you. I should be a scammer, right? I know how it goes.
But I'm going to look at you with my head sideways the same way I would look at a scammer.
No, I would go slowly with you. I got to pull you in slowly. Isolation, we talked about that. So request for money is a big deal because we just covered the fact that over $240 million are gone to scammers, and that's an underestimate. And then isolation, scammers may try to isolate their victims from friends. Okay, this is what happens too. You're in this relationship online. Something is not right about it, but you want it. You really want this, but there's something not right. So you don't tell your friends. You don't tell your family because you have a feeling or they're going to question you.
And that's one of the things, when we were talking about and thinking about this as a topic, and I think it's so critically important for everyone to know and believe that when something doesn't feel right, doesn't sound right, there's just something not right about this. But like you said, when it's something that you want, then you justify or you make excuses for, and that to me, if people, if everyone out there would really pay attention to that intuition that we all have, I think it could really make such a difference because, and I think it's about trusting yourself. Trusting that gut feeling.
Right. That uneasiness.
Because if it's right, if it's meant to be, if that person is right for you, has your best interest in mind, it should feel comfortable, good, easy. Right. But when you start having those nagging, something's not right, do not justify it. Do not excuse it. Do not overlook it. Lean into it and say, something's not right here. And trust yourself. You got to trust yourself.
Absolutely. So isolation. One of the things they might do is shift platforms. So what they mean by this is scammers may suggest moving the conversation. Because let's say you've met on Silver Seniors, or whatever that site is called. Anyway, whatever the dating sites are called. And they want to move the conversation to a different platform like WhatsApp or Telegram to avoid detection. And then, how
does that avoid? I guess that's what I don't understand. Well, how does that avoid detection?
Well, I think there's a safety mechanism built into the dating apps to try to keep people safe.
And so when you come off the dating app,
you're on your own.
Okay.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a final one. And I really want our audience to hear about this. The other thing scammers do is love bombing. Love bombing, bombing, love bombing. This is when they shower victims with affection and attention. I mean, shower. I have never met a woman like you. I mean, I thought I've been in love before in my life, but I didn't know love until I met you. And we're like, oh, he said that to me. Right. My goodness.
And sending you gifts and cards,
yes.
Becoming your everything.
In the middle of the night, or you wake up and you look at your phone and you got this big heart. I was thinking about you all night long.
That's right.
Love bombing. Okay, let me give you some more information about that. They shower victims with affection. Oh my God, I'm never going to trust anybody again.
I'm telling you.
They shower victims with affection and attention, quickly professing love. They are in love quickly. Quickly. I know we just met, but okay. Quickly professing love and creating a sense of intimacy. What is love bombing? Love bombing is a manipulative tactic where someone showers a new partner with excessive attention, affection, and gifts in the early stages of a relationship. Because see, they'll give it in the early stages. They're investing because they're going to get something from you. And so anyway, let me just keep reading. With the goal of quickly gaining control and creating dependence. Now you're dependent on him or her. It's often a form of grooming and can be a precursor to emotional abuse.
Classic precursor to emotional abuse.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many articles and information how like narcissists, that is a classic way that narcissists win you over is through love bombing. And when you look up, narcissists and their tendencies, the first thing they talk about is love bombing. And
really?
So first thing they talk about in a narcissistic relationship is that love bombing.
Oh my, I had never heard that term.
Yeah, it's classic.
I've experienced love bombing, but
classic.
I didn't know.
Yeah, and so
it's a thing.
It is such a thing. It is such a thing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so when you look that up, I mean, it is around, and it leads to emotional abuse because it is a way to kind of pull you in.
Right, and now you need them.
Right, like it's emotional need.
Yes, it's
like
an emotional need.
Someone, when they're love bombing, that person just fulfills all your needs. They become everything to you. And it's also how they start to pull you away from, friends and family is through this love bombing because they become all that you need is them. Like they can fulfill all your needs. That's how they do it. That's how they pull you in. And then it's the emotional abuse, the other parts of it. But love bombing is such a thing.
Starts.
Yeah.
Wow. Here's a more detailed explanation. Excessive flattery and praise. Love bombers shower their partner with compliments and praise, often before they've had a chance to really get to know them. Over the top gifts and gestures. They may shower their partner with expensive gifts, lavish trips, or grand gestures of affection. Constant communication and clinginess. They may engage in excessive texting. Man, I've been love bombed.
I mean, I'm sure.
I'll tell you about that. I was like, oh my God. I got to tell you about this one. Okay. They may engage in excessive texting, calling, and wanting to spend all of their time together, often neglecting other relationships or responsibility, what you just said. Rushing the relationship. They try to move the relationship forward quickly, pressuring their partner to commit to things like moving in together or getting married before they're ready. Idealization and soulmate talk. They may quickly declare that the other person is their soulmate or the only one who truly understands them. Nobody understands me like you. Oh. And then subtle control and manipulation. You talked about that. Future faking. Let's see, what is that? Love bombers may make grandiose promises about the future together. In the future, we're going to do this and we're going to have that.
We're going to live happily ever
Yes.
after, and our life is going to be so wonderful.
So wonderful. So wonderful. Why this is harmful. As you said, it creates dependency. It masks abuse because love bombing, as we said, can be a precursor to emotional abuse, as the love bomber may later devalue or discard their partner once they've gained control. This is just cruel. Disrupts boundaries. So we have these boundaries, or we should. And whenever someone in any situation abuses that boundary, there's this discomfort or this like, no, because here's the line. You can come here, but you can't cross that line. Whatever that line is for you, whatever those boundaries are for you. But here we have a situation where we have a love bomber who disrupts boundaries. They have a way to breach those boundaries. And you don't know that they're doing it, but you still feel uncomfortable. I believe that even though you allow it, there's some discomfort that you ignore.
I think that's part of it, but I also think that people that make the best targets for these romance scams, for emotional abuse, for narcissistic personality types that come into their lives are people that are not good at setting boundaries. Because to have boundaries, you have to know how to set boundaries.
Yeah.
And so, people that are so used to just always giving, not putting themselves first, not really listening to those cues, or just always being more concerned about others than themselves. And there are people that, knowing how and learning how to set boundaries truly is a learned thing.
That's true.
Some people may know how to do it, but some people don't know how to set boundaries. And those are the people that people can take advantage of because they're always giving, and it's okay. Oh no, it's all right. There are just some people that don't set boundaries. And those are the ones that I think are ripe and prone for these type of people to take advantage of them. Yeah.
That makes
because somebody that's a good boundary setter is going to not allow someone to cross their boundaries and is more likely to recognize that as an invasion of my space or whatever.
Right.
But someone that's not a good boundary setter is more focused on, well, this person has said this to me, and not even aware that someone is crossing boundaries.
Interesting. I was thinking as you were talking, you have to have a sense of self, a good sense of self and you have to value yourself to know that you can have a boundary. You can set boundaries, that not everything goes.
Right. And some people really are concerned, or they are just so used to always wanting to please other people and not wanting to hurt other people, or not wanting other people to be angry with them.
Yeah.
There are people that are that it's hard for them it's really hard to set boundaries. And so that is sometimes what, you work with your therapist or with others on, is learning how to set those boundaries, because it's not necessarily innate in everyone.
Right.
And I think
that's true.
It's not, I think it's just some people are so used to putting other people first that it's difficult for them to put themselves first.
Yeah.
And I think that,
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you got to work through that. That just doesn't change overnight.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. So again, like I said, I think that people that are romance scammers, people that are emotionally abusive, people, could be men or women that find themselves in difficult relationships are people that typically, put others first. It's not because they're, stupid or how could you do that?
Right.
I think it's just because they're so used to accepting certain things from people, or so used to always giving, or so used to making allowances or exceptions for other people and others' behavior.
That makes sense.
So it's almost like you've been groomed throughout your life.
Recognizing love bombing is crucial for protecting yourself in new relationships. If you notice these behaviors in a new relationship, it's important to be cautious and seek support from trusted friends, family, or therapists. So let's go down. I want to say a word about that, but I think I'll do it under this category. It's how to protect yourself. That's what we need to get to. So I hope you all understand. I'm learning as you're learning about romance scams. This is not the only kind of scam that we experience, especially as seniors, but it is prevalent. And as we've said, a lot of seniors are losing their life savings due to romance scammers. So how do we protect ourselves? 1, be skeptical. Approach online relationships with caution, especially if someone is professing love or asking for money quickly. This same behavior happens, and a lot of them are posting pictures that are not the image, that are not them.
Right.
It's another image. And AI, you can generate, I can go online and look like a movie star. And until we meet, that's who that's who you're dealing with.
And I can even get online and take, like, if we're, texting or communicating, I can go online and have AI generate the conversation for me.
Oh my goodness, that is so true.
So it can say all the right things. I can drop in what you said to me, and I can tell AI, oh, I want to make sure I sound like this, and that, and AI will generate a nice response, and then you can send that response. So you don't even know if the person that you're communicating with is literate. You know what I'm saying? If they really know how to say the things that they've got, if that's really how they speak, or if that's really what you don't even know that those are their real words with AI, because that has now added another element. Yeah. It's not just, the not knowing if this is what they look like, or if this is the person. You don't even know if this is really what they're saying.
And if you're not familiar with AI, she's talking about artificial intelligence. Look it up.
ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, those are all AI platforms.
Right. You could be talking to AI, not even the person.
Not even know it.
My goodness.
Not even know. And AI can give advice.
And AI can make it so it'll even ask you, do you want me to say this in a humorous way?
Yeah. Do you want me to personalize this more?
Right.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. So be skeptical. Verify identity. Apparently there are some places that you can go to do what they call reverse image searches to check if a person's photos are stolen. So I don't know much about that, but you can verify.
Yeah.
You can verify. Guard personal information. Don't share financial information or sensitive details with someone you haven't met in person. Another way to protect yourself is stay connected. Because you mentioned this earlier, part of love bombing is to bring you in and make you dependent on me and pull you away from the people you love and trust.
Isolate
you. Because then you're an easier target.
That's right. And people, who love bomb, and even people who eventually become emotionally abusive, be leery of someone that always has a criticism about the people that you're close to.
Yes.
That always has something negative to say, or
they're working on you so that you'll be every little thing that they want. My son made the honor roll, and then you say something negative. Right. Like you devalue all of that.
Exactly. So be aware of those little things, because those, I call them at that point, they're yellow flags. Those yellow flags turn into red flags. But pay attention to that.
Pay attention to the yellow flags. It says meet in person. If the relationship progresses, try to meet the person in real life before making a significant emotional investment.
Absolutely.
Don't send money. Never send money to someone you've only met online, regardless of the reason. Report suspicious activity. Check with there is a place, there's a State Department travel advisory. I looked this up. I had never seen it. But if you're traveling or somebody says, meet me here or come to this place, and it might be another country, you can find out if that's a safe place for you to be. You can do that whether it's a romance situation or not. Okay. If you plan to meet someone in person that you've met online, the FBI recommends using caution. Do not travel alone. Check the travel advisory, as I said, before arranging any travel. I added this. Have an inquisitive, bold friend who will question you, even if it makes you angry. Juanita is the kind of friend that if I were to tell her, I met somebody online and, and I just shared some of this detail, she would always say, well, why? Or what about this? Or did he do this? Or why haven't you gone out? Or why you ask so many questions? See, I don't want to hear all those questions because I want to comfortably do what I'm doing.
You want to justify what you're doing.
And
you
she
don't
won't let me.
Challenge.
Right. Yep. She challenges. You need someone that will challenge you.
Do.
And if you can't take the challenge, you might be in the wrong relationship. That might be a telltale sign. Everybody needs a friend or someone. The other person who would challenge me is my Aunt Catherine. She passed away just a few years ago. But if I told her a scenario, she would challenge. Now, she would always do it in a real loving, embracing way, but it was clear. And I would often share things with her, even if I didn't want to hear what she had to say, because I wanted the truth. I knew she would tell me the truth.
And that's important.
You need somebody who will tell you the truth, not somebody who's just, oh, I'm so glad you met somebody.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Oh, my
Say, if it doesn't sound right, you need somebody that's going to say,
just a party pooper. You need a party pooper friend.
You do.
And so if you haven't found one, find somebody who will tell you the truth.
That's funny. So that you added that.
I added that. I was thinking about my friend in Cleveland because we have been friends for probably, let's say, over 50 years, I'll say. I met her. She was close friends with my mom while I was in college. And my mom said to her, I want you to meet my daughter. She's going to be out of college soon. I want you all to be friends. And so I met her when I came home after college. And we have been friends. My mom, I don't know, intuition, but she just knew we kind of needed each other. But she's bold. She will say it. And she loves me, but she will say it. And you need someone who will tell you the truth, who will question you. You don't need people, oh, that's so nice. I'm glad you met somebody. Who is it? Who did you meet? And where did you meet him?
And then if the time comes for them, this person to meet your friends, or then, you need to have friends that will actually tell you what they think or feel or what they've sensed or whatever. But then, you got to be ready to receive that too.
Right. Yeah. And you might have to take it like a big pill and swallow it. But I always wanted truth, even though I knew if I was in a situation that was crossing that line and the little yellow lights were going off, but I really wanted to justify it. And then I told you about it. It was like, I know it's going, they're going to burst my bubble, but you need that. You need that. So as a final reminder, red flags to watch out for: excessive flattery and love bombing early in the relationship, excuses for not meeting in person or using video chat. They don't want you to see them. What's wrong with my camera?
Right. I can't.
Technology.
Camera's not working, or you were supposed to meet and suddenly they can't meet, but we'll talk on the phone or whatever. No, I need to lay eyes on
I'm so disappointed I can't meet with you. I really was looking forward to it. Kimber, we'll talk. Okay. Red flags. Request to move communication to a different platform. Inconsistencies in their story or online profile, because even AI will mess you up sometimes. Requests for money, especially for emergencies, because they're pulling on your heartstrings there. General photos that look like they came from a magazine or AI. Claiming to be located far away or working overseas.
So you can't see them.
You can't
so
see
they're
them.
not available.
Not
to be
available.
Seen.
But I'm working. I am fighting for our country.
That's right. I'm stationed.
Yes.
Wherever.
Right.
This is where I work.
Canceling in-person meetings due to unexpected emergencies. I added this one, Kim. Be aware of your vulnerability. In other words, I was just thinking about having a sense of self. What are my areas of weakness or vulnerability? Where am I vulnerable? Am I willing to ask that question of myself and answer it honestly? Because that's where you're going to be targeted. Is it, I know for me, Herman passed away just a few months ago, and I knew that this was not the time for me to be in a relationship because everything was just mush. The clarity and the need was greater, but it was a neediness because of the grief, right? And so I'm aware of that because I wasn't dating, but I was talking to a guy, and then I was talking to another guy, and you go invited to go out or come over and do all this. I discovered I can't do this right now. I'm too needy because I'm hurting and I need something or somebody to help me with this pain, right? I knew that. I knew that you would make me feel better, but at what cost? Because I didn't want that under those conditions. I knew that I was vulnerable, and I would have ended up in a relationship based on this neediness because of my grief, that once, all this rose to the surface, I don't know where I would be, right, or what regrets I would have, right? So I said, not now, because of that. Now, I don't want you or our audience to think I always pay attention to my inner voice. And I always make good decisions. Believe me, that's so far from the truth. But this time I did.
But it's good that, and we grow and evolve and we learn lessons learned, because I don't think any of us have always made good choices, but hopefully we continue to grow and learn from even our not so good choices. Yeah. And I think that really says a lot, that at this time when you felt that all you wanted and needed was someone to comfort you and to help with this pain.
Yes.
That you still had the wherewithal to say, but let me understand where this is coming from.
Right.
Why is this? And that you were able to say no. Because a lot of people, I think, would have probably given in to that just because the need
is so great.
Yeah.
Kim, the need is so great. You just want comfort.
Yeah.
And to have, in my case, a man that would be there for you, put his arms around you, and all those things that would just make you feel better in the moment. But that inner voice inside of me was saying, mm-mm. And I was trying to justify it. I was trying to make the square peg fit in the round hole by saying, yeah, but I could just do that. I don't have to do this, but I was trying to fix it to make it work because I was in such need of comfort. But that's false comfort.
Yeah.
That would have gotten me in a deeper ditch, I believe, than if I had proceeded and not been aware. But I'll tell you this, I had a little help. As I was trying to justify it, to make it work, I mentioned it. Remember I told you a moment ago about these truth tellers in your life? So I mentioned it briefly to my therapist. She said, absolutely not. I was so tickled because, and tell me if I'm right, they're trained to just kind of listen. They don't really give you a strong opinion. Am I right?
That's true.
She came out of She came out of her old professionalism was out the window. She said, Alexis, absolutely not. With this face, like a mother face, one of those mother faces, like, are you crazy? I was so tickled. And that was a conversation that took less than a minute, but it just validated what I already knew. But I trusted her. I knew she'd tell me the truth.
And
right?
You needed to hear that.
I needed to hear.
You
I didn't
needed
want
that
to.
validation.
I wanted her to say, it would be nice to.
That might be what you needed this week. But she was like, no.
Not even one of those, well, what do you think, Alexis?
Right. Not even just kind of putting it back. She was just like, no.
No. And then next topic. I mean, she didn't even want to deal with it. I thought there would be a little discussion. She was like, okay, what else you got? Because we're not talking about that.
No, that's not
I was like, I will never forget that moment. But I already knew that this wasn't the right time. And so I'm sharing my vulnerability, and I'm hoping that my audience you will look at your own vulnerability and make sure that you have somebody in your life that you can trust to tell you the truth, because we can't do this alone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we can't do this
I think
alone.
that's so key, to look at your own vulnerabilities and to be honest with yourself about what that is. And I think it's important to reflect on past relationships, not just male relationships, but friendships, relationships with families, and look for those patterns of, what is it that draws you in, and what is it that you need to pay attention to. Right. Because to your point, you were saying it, but for some people, it may be all I need is for somebody to tell me how beautiful I am or how special I am. And that is enough to draw me in. And so paying attention to those patterns and those vulnerabilities, I think is really important. And we don't always
and you can say, well, that's innocent, just to tell me how special I am. At what cost?
Right. If that's the thing that lets your guard down because somebody says that to you, you have to pay attention to that.
So here's the solution. Go to your grandchildren who think... who think you're a hero, and they say, Grammy, you're the best Grammy ever. Yeah, go get your validation from your grandchildren.
That's right.
And they give the best hugs.
Yeah.
I have a plaque when you walk in the door that says, grandkids are the only therapy I need. There's a lot of therapy in grandchildren. So, you can get some help now. You cannot be comforted, but you have to be discerning about where you go for that comfort.
That's true. That's true.
And for me, because of my faith, most of the time, that's where all of the time, I seek God to bring what it is I need into my life. Do I listen all the time? I don't. And though when I don't, I end up in trouble. But I believe that he loves me, and he will, there's a scripture that says, but my God will supply all your need according to his riches. I believe he will supply my physical needs, my financial needs, my emotional needs, if I allow him to do that. But if I take the rein, if I take the steering wheel and I decide I'm going to do it myself, he's going to let me do it. And sometimes I'm not in the frame of mind to make that decision, that wise decision, I should say. Yeah. I'll tell you.
So all that is to say that it can happen to anyone.
Yes, it can. And it can happen to anyone at certain places in their lives, because life happens. So even if you're not typically a good target, you can be a good target if you're going through struggles in your life.
Exactly.
If you're going through grief, you're going through loss, you're going through divorce, you're going through loss of a job. Something traumatic can happen that will put you in a place where now you're vulnerable in ways that you weren't before.
Exactly.
So I think you have to stay connected to the people who care about you. You have to stay connected to them, and you have to know where you are. And if you don't, the people that love you will tell you. Are you sure you're ready for that? Like this is sort of, it's another truth teller kind of thing. About a month after, maybe not even a month after Herman passed away, there's a woman in my line dance class. She participates in the class that I teach. Her sister lost her son, and my heart went out because I just lost my son. So I was going to plan to go to the funeral. But another woman in the class who had lost her son maybe 8 years ago said, she pulled me aside. She said, Alexis, you're not ready. I needed her to say that because my heart was going out, but I couldn't have taken enough. So again, the value and the importance of having people who care enough about you to tell you the truth. And on the flip side, are you care enough to tell others the truth when you see them going towards trouble or something that could potentially harm them, even if it means you could lose that relationship? I made up my mind I'll risk losing the relationship because I don't think I could live with I could have influenced in some way. And even if I couldn't, I owed that person the truth. I owe it to them. I care enough about them to do that. So
we never stop learning. I never want to stop learning. I never want to stop growing. And oftentimes we'll find ourselves at a place in life that we never imagined. And I appreciate when there are people in our lives to help us navigate those uncharted, rough waters.
Me too. Because we don't have to, nor should we, do it alone.
Yeah.
We need each other.
Yeah. And so I think this to me kind of speaks to that because I know a lot of people, find themselves in those positions, not because, they're stupid or how could you?
Right.
Like you said, we all go through periods in our life and changes that we didn't expect, that we didn't anticipate, that make us vulnerable when other times we may not have been. So I just think, realizing that, what is it saying there, but for the grace of God goes me. Because I think, as much as we like to think, I would never do that,
Right.
you never know.
You never know. I've learned that. Oh, I can't say that. I would never. How could you?
Yeah, that is, who would do that? Right. You just never know.
You never know. You never know. So we hope that you've gained some insight from our discussion. Thank you so much for joining us, and come back. Like, subscribe, comment, and come back again for another episode. As you can see, we get real. We get real. We're honest, and we're going to be vulnerable with you not because I enjoy being vulnerable, because I really don't, but if it will help somebody, I will. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Bye.